Right now you're checking out Pyro Radio. It's me, Jay Fresh, with the Jay Fresh and Friends show. I said before and I'll say it again, it's not just about me, it's about sick new music from the world of hip-hop and grime and artists and producers making major moves as well. So right now on the phone line, I've got a guy that I'm simply going to call the Punchline King. Big Jest in the place. What's happening, man?
How's it going, man? How's it going?
We're do you know what? I had to do that, man. I don't even apologise. So because this is a phone interview, which normally, you know, we get interviews and guests live in the studio, describe to me your settings right now, because I can't see anything. Where you at, bro?
Well, you know, quarantine, lockdown and all that stuff. I'm in my bedroom.
Wow.
I'm nowhere excited right now. I'm in my bedroom right now. I'm just chilling.
No, that sounds good. If I'm going to bait myself, and I often do it, I'm currently in the spare room with pink walls, pink carpet, pink duvet. It's a 3-year-old girl's bedroom. So do you know what I mean? You're doing all right out here, bro.
There you go. It's that time of year right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So how are things for you right now? How is life? How's the new normal? How are things in your world?
Boy, it's all a little bit crazy for everyone. I feel like this year's been, you know, something after something after something. Like there's always something happening, but as far as the music goes, I'm still keeping it pushing. I've actually probably released more in this period than usual.
Have you found your productivity? Sorry. Have you found your productivity's gone up then in this time because there's more time available to you and stuff like that?
I guess it just makes you focus, isn't it? Like, obviously, I've always had like loads of material there. Like, I always have an excess of stuff that I could put out. But then when everyone's like, you know, indoors and it's just you and kind of get back to basics, don't you? So you're less distracted, I guess.
Have you got a home set up studio-wise to record vocals?
I haven't actually got a home studio set up, so I haven't really been recording new music as much. I've just been working with the existing catalogue, really.
And getting everything in order. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't see. They see tracks when they're released, they see sick videos, they don't understand the hard work, the strategy, the whole plan behind. They don't see that, bro.
A lot of times it's been months, even longer sometimes. You'll ask some artists, they'll be like, yeah, I recorded this a year ago, or something like that. By the time it comes out, like I might have 10 songs, and then you pick one, and then you pick the next one, then you record a new one, then you go back to an old one. It just happens how it happens, man.
It's part of being involved in creating music, man. And what you've touched on there is dope, because you are someone who has for many years now put in a lot of hard work. You've put in a lot of consistency, which is what's needed in this music game. Because this is the first time we've connected, where did your musical journey begin? How did that begin?
My musical journey, what, you want it from the top, from the very start?
Do you know what? I'm here. We're interviewing you. We want to know what you've got to say, bro. You go as deep as you want.
Well, I guess like most people from like, you know, South London where I'm from, it just starts like in school basically. Like everyone tries their hand at it amongst you and the guys will try your hand at it, but then you get a reaction from your friends that you're actually good, and you're like, oh, maybe. You know,
this could be for me, you know.
Yeah, maybe, but at that time you're just doing it for the fun of it. Like that's how we all started doing it. But then from like 14, 15, I was just, you know, but them times it's not that serious. You're just starting to try and get into it. But I would say I've been writing and recording on and off since then. But as for like Big Jest taking it serious and doing what I'm doing now, that was from around about when I was 21. Like when I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. That was when I was about 21, I think. So, and I'm 25 now. So it's about
still a young man.
4 years of the serious graft.
And what might be a difficult question to answer, but what is the biggest thing you've learnt on that journey so far?
I guess that I'm always learning.
No, it's good. It's good.
As a younger man, like obviously, as artists, obviously we all rate ourselves highly. You know, if you don't like your own music first, then why are you putting it out? Well, like, I feel like every single season, every single time, you know, a year goes past, or I feel like I break a new bracket, I can like see where I've improved, and sometimes I surprise myself that I've improved on things I thought I was already. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's probably the main thing.
So are you someone who goes back and listens to tracks that you've put out in the past, and not so much critique that, but just kind of see that, because a track when you release it is a snapshot of what's going on with you at that particular point in time, isn't it? So do you kind of go back and listen, or do you kind of just look forward?
100%. I look back. You're right. It's both. It is both a time capsule where you can remember what you were thinking and feeling at the time, but also it's very difficult to listen to your old tunes without kind of critiquing it. Like you can't help it. Like you're like, I could have did that better, or I would have said this that way, or like you can't help but critique your own stuff when you look back. It could be a month ago I might critique it. It doesn't. Once I've done it and I look back, perspective is always changing. So.
Well, that's another thing for anyone listening in right now. As people who create music, you're never happy. You're never happy with a track when it goes out. And then you go back and go, why did I do that? The mix could have been different. I could have changed that. It's just music. You're never happy, bro. Never.
True, 100%. You'd be here forever if you try to, like, there's always something you feel like you could tweak a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely. You're right there. We
were actually first due to hook up for an interview around about the time of 21 Savage.
Oh, no.
And I think reasons outside our control kind of stopped that from happening. But
correct, yeah.
We touched on it earlier about consistency and putting out tracks. We've had Social Distance as well. That's a dope track, dope concept. And obviously we're going to start to then talk about the brand new track as well with Tiny Boost, which is absolutely cold. So in terms of how you approach music, do you have like your strategy for like, this is what I'm going to, in theory, this is what I'm going to do this year, this track is coming out in this order? Or is it with Social Distance, does that come around just through like the lockdown quarantine things? You're being flexible about that?
Yeah, so I have a skeleton plan. Like I said, I've got enough music, so I have the songs that I plan to drop in order, in sync. But then I'm always flexible to be able to react to current stuff. I guess that's what we do, innit? We comment on what's going on. That's what we do. That's how we do it. So when something new comes up, I'm always ready to drop a quick freestyle or make a song if I feel to. Like, so it's like with the Social Distance song, it was when things was just starting to build up, and obviously there was all the talk of social distance, and naturally the bars were coming to me. I just laid it down, and I thought, you know what? Let me just put it out. Why not?
Yeah,
sometimes you write something like that and you don't even put it out. I've got a million of those that didn't make it out. But yeah, just got to be flexible with it.
Yeah, and I think that's a key thing with the music game as well. Timing. Sometimes timing is out of your control. With the Social Distance thing, like I said, it sounds like you got that early kind of thing. And if we look at the fact that with the video, you put that on your own YouTube channel, didn't you?
Correct. Yeah.
And numbers aren't everything, we know that, but if we look at, say, your YouTube channel and then we look at the numbers that video generated, that was a really, really strong moment for you, man. That must have been sick to see, sick to experience that.
100%. Yeah, I was proud of that. Like, I haven't really released on my channel too tough. But, you know, it's one of them ones where there comes a time you got to do it. And I had a couple other videos lined up. Like you said, I had the song with Tiny Boost, Daily coming out on Grime Daily or GRM Daily. So I was like, you know what? Let me put this one on my channel and just got to brave it. But yeah, because it's like when you haven't released music videos on your channel, anyone will tell you, like, you don't really know. It's been a while since you've kind of tested the waters on your own channel. The platform is important. But yeah, the reaction for that was really good. I was happy with the numbers and the feedback. More importantly, the feedback was really good, like in high numbers. So it's like, yeah, man. I feel like sometimes you could have a song that has 100,000 views and then a next one that has 40,000 views, but the interactions from the 40,000 one kind of give you more, like the live direct feedback from people. And I guess that is the benefit of being on your own channel. It's not. Nobody was there by accident. They was there for me, innit?
Yeah, no. Bruv, say it with your chest. They were there for you, 100%. Do you know what I mean? They were. But I think what's dope as well is, you take the time to look into those, the comments, the interaction. Like I said, someone saying track's cold is nice to hear. Someone picking out, the cadence or, certain punchlines or whatever that you've done in the track, or comment on something in particular that you've you took time putting together that you thought maybe no one would notice is like, do you know what? That's just 100%. Encouragement that you're on the right track. Do you, around that, there are a lot of kind of reaction videos to tracks that appear online now on YouTube and stuff like that. There are a few out there for you and your tracks, like Rag Talk TV and stuff. Have you seen much of those and how the reaction to your tracks has been?
Yeah, I love those reactions. that's my favourite thing to watch. I'm telling you, it's like, as an artist, it's mad. I was explaining this to one of the reactors the other day. I was like, when you make a song, you don't get to experience it the way the listener does, because obviously I made it. So it's like I love it, and I'm writing it as it's going in my head. Like, I don't get to experience it for the first time. It'll be interesting to hear my own song from their perspective. But when you watch them reacting to it, it's the closest thing you get. Like, you can literally see how they're responding to it, and you can get their energy from it, and then you kind of know how it feels to listen to one of your songs, if you get what I'm saying. So I love that.
No, that's sick, man. 100%. Again, and this interview is not about those who make music and those who are listening who don't make music. But when you put out a track, you know, you've listened to it 1,000 million times. You've rewritten stuff. You've worked on it. You've listened to 25 different mixes and all this stuff. Whereas you do lose that element of the listener pressing play on whatever platform and then just hearing it all together in the correct
and just getting the final product. Yeah,
man. No, but you've got a great energy around you, bro. You're very humble in how you approach your music as well, man. And that's a real nice thing as someone who's a DJ and a radio broadcaster and stuff. It's really nice. It's a nice vibe and energy around you, man. So I feel like it's important that I say that, you know?
Appreciate that, man. Thanks.
No, you're welcome. And we touched on it there, and we're going to talk about it now. The latest track, Daily. I mean, let's be honest now. I have to be honest. The tune is sick. The tune is cold. So firstly, congratulations for that, bro. Is that a track you're proud of?
Thanks, man. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a track I'm proud of. Obviously, musically, and, you know, there being Tiny Boost on it. Like, coming from where I come from, he's someone that, you know, is integral in the scene. Is someone that I would have listened to when I was younger, like I said, when I was in school and so on and so forth. So when you come through the other end and, you know, you do songs with people you listen to, and there's rappers that you respect that now respect you, and you have interactions with other people that you appreciate their craft and they respect what you do, you know what I mean? That's always a good feeling.
It's a real moment when things come full circle like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a mad thing. But yeah, the track itself, I mean, sonically, the kind of sonic interaction of you and Boost on that track works. It's cold. The video itself is looking really clean. Up on GRM right now, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. It's out now. It already 28,000 views, and it's rising. The feedback on it is good as well. For you, how important is it, and how strong a hand do you have on the visuals that you put together to go with your music? Because everyone's got their own way of doing things, man.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the visuals are very important. I've got my rule on visuals is if it don't make the song better, then you haven't done the video good enough. Like, you might as well not do it. Like, for me, the visuals is meant to enhance the song in some way. Now, for me, that doesn't actually mean going out of your way to do the most wildest thing, because then that will contradict with the song and kind of give the wrong feeling. So when I'm writing a song, when I'm making a song, when I've made a song, when I hear a song, like, I will get a vision in my head, a picture of what I see when I hear this song. And sometimes I just try to recreate that, even if it's the simplest thing possible. I just try to recreate where this song takes me. And obviously, you have to bring out parts of the song to make it interesting as much as you can. But you just want to recreate the song in visual form as best as you can to enhance it, in my opinion. If it's a song that needs a wild treatment, then do it. But if not, don't force it. That's kind of my way of approaching it.
No, it's a great insight, man. And again, everyone looks at things differently in terms of their visuals. Some people want to go crazy and do the maddest thing. Some people just don't want visuals. And to me, I share that vision with you. That I feel it's another opportunity to share what you've created. And some people might come across you and or this track or whatever, maybe just around the visual first. they haven't copped it off a Spotify playlist or whatever. So if that's another way of translating fans into what you do, then that's a massive positive. But another thing that I think works from it, and I'm sure you share the vision as well, is that it's another way of kind of building your legacy. And you can look back at the projects you've done, what you've executed, and then you might then get that connection in the directing world, or you might then find that the visual side of music is an area that you develop even further. I mean, I remember
100%,
I remember interviewing Rapman years ago, and I think it came up in our interview was that it was almost like there was a difficulty in placing his music because it was too deep for people. Do you know what I mean? And then when he started attaching the visuals to that and Shiro's story and everything else off that, now he's like in his own lane doing his madness, which is incredible, man. So I've always got respect for everybody, especially people like yourself who really put the effort and the energy into the craft and the visual, because to me it's so important, man.
Definitely is still. And like you said, it's another part of the product, it's another part of the creation. Like if you're someone who's into that stuff, like you're into the creative side of it, then it's another element of it. And if you're putting out a product, then every part of it matters. To me, you want to be proud of every stage. There's, like you said, there's the mixes. First of all, there's the lyrics. It starts with the producer and you and the lyrics. And then you've got the mixes, and then you've got, the visuals, there's layers to it. You get edits back, you've got the locations, the treatments. There's all of this comes together to make what someone receives when they click on your name on YouTube. They receive it all at once. So they're all as important as each other. So yeah.
Definitely, man. Now, it goes without saying that the whole social distancing, lockdown, quarantine, whatever the word is the individual is using, has massively affected this year. This year is unlike no other year I've ever experienced in my many, many years on this earth. Like it is crazy out there. But for you, firstly from a musical context, how has this shifted how you're approaching this year and the climate we're in now? Like, has that changed your strategy and how you're working?
I mean, it's an interesting one. It's almost like it's hard because in the genre that I'm in, it's quite a fast food genre anyway. Until you get to a certain level, and you get certain people, when they get to a certain stature, they can kind of drop a bomb and disappear. Drop a single, drop an album, disappear and come back. But in the up and coming level, it's very quick. It's like if I put out a song now, in 3 weeks' time, my listeners are like wanting a new one when you're putting out a new song.
When's the next one?
Yeah. So at a time like this, I feel like it kind of increases that in a way, because there's so much else going on in the world that you need to keep your presence up. You need to know how to dance with it though, because it's like you gotta read the room, as they say. You gotta know it's timing. I feel like timing is so important. So timing's always important, but I feel like with the world as it is, it's even more important. But as creatives and people who do what we do for a living, you can't necessarily take your foot off the gas. So you've got to evolve basically. But to make sure you're fitting, as the world is changing, you got to make sure you're fitting in. You're managing to get your product and your creativity out, but making sure your timing is right. So it's just a little bit more tricky, basically. It's a little bit more tricky. But people still need new music. People still need good vibes. If anything, more than ever. So you can't drop your presence 100%. Just got to be strategic, I guess.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the reason I ask you that is, again, at the moment, every single artist is looking at things very differently. Do you know what I mean? I think it's about what's doing, what's right for you, what feels right. And like I said, it's part of your strategy. But some of the points you touched on there, especially to anyone listening in, is, the momentum is very important releasing music. And unless you're at, the Champions League top elite level, if you don't put out tracks for a period of time, people are like, you still do music, yeah? And that's
on
just
to the next one.
You know what I mean?
That question there.
Oh, yeah, that question. Let's not talk about that question. You still doing your little rap thing, yeah? You still doing your little music thing? Go away. I don't know you. Move.
Oh, you're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. I see. Yeah. Oh, it's funny, man.
It is mad.
Especially when I was younger. If I had £1 for every time I got that when I was in my teens, like crazy. But yeah,
we keep it moving, man. We've got some great insight musically there. Of course, outside of music, there are wider issues and wider things happening in society now across not only this country but the world. How are you finding your experience around the whole Black Lives Matter movement and this time that we're in right now?
My experience, obviously, I'm a black man from South London. I'm aware of all of the issues that's taken place. I've experienced some or been close to experiences, so I'm always for and will support the movement 100%. The protests and everything. I just feel like my stance on it is we need to be strategic and set up in a way that can continue to progress. It's like you always see a lot of the debates online about, don't take your foot off the gas and make sure you keep it pushing, and things like that is done through strategy and actually putting things into place. So I feel like out of all of this, we need to set things up and, get actions done and then keep things moving like that. Because people won't march and protest every weekend. They will for a period, but in 2 months' time, they're not still going to be doing that every weekend because it's human nature. So in this time when there's momentum, is when you set up things that can keep it growing into the future. When everyone's back to work and they can't go and protest, you know what I'm saying? It's an interesting time right now because so many people are free, which has made so many more people actually say, you know what, I'm going to go and support when they might not have been able to at a different time. It's just came together this way. But that's my view, but of course I'm for it.
Yeah, of course, man. I think what is one of the maddest things around here right now as well is that, people have got a platform to say things like on social media, which is great when they have the education. Naturally, there are, like in life, you have people who don't have that education or they don't have the knowledge on certain subjects. And they're having these opinions that are baseless and they haven't done the research. Like me, myself, I am a white man. So I've been learning where I can, understanding more, having conversations. I've been sharing some pieces on social media about what can white people do to kind of improve their awareness of situations and things they haven't gone through. And I think that's a key part of what I'd like to think. And just like in this interview and with other people that I've spoken to, I'd like to think that this hopefully can be a catalyst for some actual change. And like you said, not a quick thing and then everyone moves on to the next thing. It's like, let's hope things really can move forward. There's a long, long way to go, a crazy long way to go. I mean, I'd like to think that some of the messaging and the level of support now is something, again, that I've never seen in my lifetime.
Me neither.
Do you know what I mean? So we hope that things can kind of move forward and people can kind of get involved and further the cause, man, because it's so long overdue. It's crazy.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with all of that. I echo that for sure.
Listen, thank you so much for joining us on Pyro Radio today. Before we make a move, I'd love it if you could introduce your brand new track whilst we play it right here, right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is Big Jess speaking. I'm about to get into my new single featuring Tiny Boost. It's called Daily. The video's out now on GRM Daily. Go stream it and all of that good stuff. Hit me up on all the social media outlets. Big Jest.